Okay, well, Sonia,
Okay.
I'm recording now, and I won't stop until we're done. It'll just run continuously through. But at any moment, if you want to take a pause, that's no problem. I'll just cut it out.
Okay.
Okay. So our first question simply introduce yourself. I'm Sonia Santos, and this is where I grew up at.
Okay. Hi there. My name is Sonia Santos, and I am originally from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where I come from a little city called Ramos. But Ramos was a kind of place that revealed to Brazil and to the world big names, interesting icons from the Brazilian culture. For instance, I can tell you some of them. Paulo Moura was a great clarinetist. Baden Powell, partner with Vinicius de Moraes in many songs, include the song from the film Black Orpheus. There is a famous group from there called Cacique de Ramos, another biggest Fundo de Quintal. Anyway, Ramos is a very rich city regarding the culture of Brazil.
Repeat that last statement about this city and its rich culture.
I was telling about several names revealed in Ramos as Paulo Moura, clarinetist, a big name in the clarinet world. In the classic music also from Brazil. Also Baden Powell was partner of Vinicius de Moraes. And there is a very big and well-known school of samba called Imperatriz Leopoldinense. Anyway, Ramos is a very nice city from Rio de Janeiro.
Talk about singing and what drew you to the vocal arts. And you can start as young as you want, when you were a child or you were adolescent.
You know, John, as I remember by myself as a little girl, I was already singing, but not thinking about to be a singer, not singing and preparing myself to be a professional singer. But it happens with a lot of people. Some people start in church. I start in a small group in this town, and several other the musicians were sons and daughters of the people already artists, professional artists. So I was among them, and naturally I started to sing with them. And I was going to the university, but my dad said, "You know what? Be a singer is not a good profession for you." Then I was like this, without understanding that time. We are talking, I don't know, about like 60 years ago, you know. But then I married. I married with a musician. And then I started to thinking about to be a professional. Then we made a group. You know, my husband, my brother-in-law, and other people from the same age. And there we start, like a family group. And there, yeah, is where I came from. Yeah.
When you were young, who was an important mentor or teacher to you?
I think that the most important mentor I had was my dad. He never direct me to do this or that, but he always tried to direct all the sons and daughters to be good persons that could be useful for a better community, a better society, respectful people, trying to be as much as qualified as possible to do anything wherever we decide to be.
Before I leave off, is there something specific that you can recall about your father that you'd like to remember?
My dad, he loves poetry, and I think he put that little seed inside of my heart, Then I start to writing, I start to say poetry in my school. It's like everything very, very naturally, what's happened in my life, very naturally. It's something that I wanted to keep right now, that calm, and observing what really is good, not just to myself, but what can bring some knowledge for me to be better for the others. That's what my dad, put in my heart.
Do you remember falling in love with jazz, or was there another musical idiom that you first fell in love with?
I think it was natural, my passion about jazz, because I love music. I learned this from my mom and my dad, at home, because on weekends, like for instance Saturdays, they used to put the big LPs to play with music, and we singing and dancing and enjoying the music, the family together, So I love music because what my experience was, music make us feel good, Then came rock and roll, then came funk, then came samba, then came bolero, then came rumba, then, automatically was increasing my repertoire of knowledge in music. Then I discovered myself doing jazz because it's something that I could add, take some inspiration from here and put together inspiration from there and do something else. It for me was a very, very creative, very nice. But there is something special. Always I pay a lot of attention about the words that I was singing. Because I think that regarding that little seed that my dad planted myself, I feel like commit with, give good suggestions, give good examples, That's what I am trying until today, Joe, with my music. Cheers, sugar cane.
Let's move on to performances. When you are preparing for a public performance, what do you do to get ready?
I do a lot of things.
Hold for 1 second. Before you answer, there you go.
Okay. I do a lot of things. I start like a week before and trying to be quiet, trying to be receptive, because I do believe that the universe is energy. And as much you prepare yourself to be calm, to receive good inspirations, this is your responsibility. So I try to do this. I do a little bit of Tai Chi. I try to listen music, and I believe also a lot, not just about to do vocalizing things, but also to exercise the breath, breathe, work with this, and with the energy that this breath, conscient breath can bring to you, That's I do a lot of things.
When you are preparing for a performance, how do you go about selecting the songs that you want to sing? Is there a repertoire?
Yes. Inside this contest that I present to you, my beliefs, I choose things that, for instance, talk about my land, angles of the way to be of my people, what I learned from my ancestors, what I believe made some, for instance, gods and goddesses that we know through our culture that means for us. For instance, we believe that the wind has a god, and the waves of the winds, it brings messages, and you must be calm, prepared, with your heart open, with your mind, with no prejudice, with your ears open, to listen, to understand, and to try give back to the ones that look for your music, to receive a good thing, be happy. It's very important. I love to see people happy, celebrating, dancing, singing. I love to do this. And provoke it, I love it.
In the performance in March at the World Stage, it was clear to me you had great repartee with each of the musicians that on stage, in particular the guitarist.
Yeah, I love you.
How do you bring artists, musicians like that to work with you?
It's a kind of like a similar, like cat vibration. The way they react, listen to my music, what kind of curiosity they have about my work, about myself, Everything caught my attention. Everything caught my attention. And then at the end, I see how it combine with my feelings, with my beliefs, with my kind of performance. So Wesley is a special musician for me. I love all of them, But Wesley, he has a kind of he's a vulcan of creation, and at the same time is not that too sophisticated. He's a vulcan, but he's also simple. The dynamic that he used in his interpretation, in his solos, I think that he's a special musician.
I also remember your pianist.
Mm-hmm.
And at occasion he would use a accordion. small accordion
Yes.
to play on particular numbers. And also with him, you had a good rapport.
Exactly. This is a perfect example. It's a perfect example, John. Mr. Martinez, his first name is Mr. Martinez now, but Alejandro Martinez. He is like, I had just one rehearsal with him. And the kind of connection, musical connection, happened right there. And he was read in the day of the show. That's a perfect example. I don't choose the musicians that come to work with me, not because they are beautiful, they are strong, they are well dressed. No. When they talk first, when they arrive, if his enthusiasm when he learned to the music. And Wesley has everything. And Alejandro is the same thing.
It appears to me from that performance, you know specifically moving from one song to another. But are there things that sometimes might happen that allow you to say, let me improvise, or let me try something that I hadn't been thinking about or preparing for?
Yeah, happened. For instance, if I give wings to my heart, for instance, then I remember a song that I know. Then I would like to tell you something about this song that I love because of this, and that. For instance, is this the case of wise men say, and the still is near. So it's the same thing. I like the words, what the composer, what they say in that music, and with those words. So it's something that's something that I would love to tell them. So I use it, the music. That's the way that worked for me. You know? Simple.
I'm going to hold for a moment till this little airplane flies over here. Would you define yourself as an Afro-Brazilian jazz musician?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Because for me it's fundamental, is high priority, the groove of the music. So I work a lot with the drums and bass. And on top of it, of course, that I need the harmony. Then after that come the keyboards and guitar. But drums for me, I am crazy about drums because there is several tales in Afro-Brazilian culture that talk how big is the importance of the drums in the music. Drums is the straight communication, straight communication. And you know about the voice of the drums. For instance, in Cuban Afro rhythms, they call these street drums that I'm referring now. Hum is the one, Pi, and Le. Le is the highest. Hum is the lowest. And Pi is the middle, make the balance between that those and come the message. But most of the time, for certain people, and I'm including myself on it, you listen when they are three playing. You listen the message sometimes from one of them. And for me, most of the time I can hear the message from the lowest one. Maybe because of it, I like so much bass players. Maybe because of it, the line of bass is so important in my music. I have a lot of respect for bass players. There was a bass player that worked here with me for more than 20 years, Sonia Santos. He's up there, making music in the sky. Santana was a kind of bass player amazing. He could be the interpreter from some entity from up there through his lines and his creation, and also gentleness that he used to play. Even being a bass player, even this way, he was delicate and creative. Very nice. Very nice.
Throughout your career, you've performed with many jazz musicians. How do they relate to you or you to them as a Brazilian jazz vocalist? Or do you have anything that you feel about that?
I think that even when I work with American musicians, Latin musicians, I never had nothing to complain about anyone, because they bring to me so much care, interest, that always make me feel comfortable. I'm very, very thankful for it. Very thankful.
Ele dá aplicações de terapia, essas coisas, não, eu só fazia.
Throughout your career, have you run into people who've had a misconception of Afro-Brazilian music?
No, never. Maybe because the way that I present, I present just like something it happened, it's natural. I don't have any way to say it's the truth. It is what it is. That's it. That's the only intention. So it's not like a flag, like a war flag. It's not like this. No. I am like this, and I like to be like this because of this that's good and this that's beautiful. This is it.
You may be aware of this, but I recall throughout your performance, you use a powerful gesture with your right arm a lot.
It's about God.
Okay.
He's on top. He's up there taking care of everything. This is about God.
Okay.
In any word you can define God, someone call Allah, another one call Jehovah, another call, I don't know, you name it. I feel God up there in everything.
Pick up again, just saying a little bit about your own feeling toward the power of God in your music, if you want.
I learned from my dad something that he read in the whole book. Love is the cover to the multitude of sins. Love is the only thing that can cover the multitude of sins. I think that's the way, look to be gentle, to be loving, and to be delicate, to be respectful, to make understand. If I could make a figure about this, I would say I didn't come for going this way or in this way. I come to be like a bridge. What is good from here? What is good from here? And put together. That's my intention, I want to be a servant. I want to be a servant, yes.
Do you think that you chose music, or did music choose you?
Good question, very good question. I think that we choose each other. But I discover my side a little bit later. Now I have more conscience about what is it to be a singer, to be a channel, a messenger, I want to see people happy. That's my intention.
I'll repeat what I said. Seeing you on stage, you are a remarkably powerful performer. It is as if you are channeling a supernatural power through you as a messenger to share with the audience. It's amazing.
I hope in God to be a good instrument, a good channel. That's why I take care of myself in the way to be away of confusion, about excitement. I keep myself away as possible, to don't be confused, I'm trying, with my sincere intention, I'm trying.
When you're not making music, what do you do to recharge your spirit?
I do mentalization, I do meditation, but a lot. Meditation I do a lot because I like it. And there is one organization here in Culver City that I work with them, help them in the way of healing people, and I read, I study. Now lately with the internet we don't read that much, but I listen a lot of things, things that come in this way that I think and I feel.
You've had an opportunity throughout your life to perform with many musicians, even other vocalists. Is there someone that you would like to have performed with? Or someone who is memorable to you that was a special experience to you?
Oh, okay, like somebody that I know that I admire, that I would like to be. Yes. One of those, now she's not anymore with us, Elis Regina. She's, for me, amazing until today. Another one, Clara Nunes. Clara Nunes is very conscient. You know? I can feel, for instance, those days, I don't know, there is several young ones, maybe I could do this because they are looking for music in different ways. Not I wanna be a singer because I wanna make a lot of money. I wanna be famous. No, they are thinking about the music to make people happy, to pass a good message. The young people, they are doing this, so I admire a lot. I admire. I think that is the best way to be successful. Is care about your audience.
Well, let me close by asking, is there something that you would like to talk about that I haven't asked you, that you would like to express?
Well, I would like to express something that anyone that is listening to my words, answering your questions, they try to think about to be a good person. To be a good person. This doesn't mean nothing with religion. This doesn't mean with politician party. No. This is about to be human, to be useful, to be gentle with human. Because I truly believe when I'm not afraid of you, I'm not preoccupied or occupied what you will do, what you think about me. I just take care of the natural truth for you. You're gonna relax, then you can have a good understanding. I think so. I pray for the leaders of the world, to think about to be useful for your people, to care about people. Then everybody will be happy, everybody will be relaxed, and no wars anymore, no reason for war anymore. That's what I'm looking for, peace, all over, make peace.
That is a wonderful closer for this interview. It's very good.
So I'm done.
You're done, baby.
I'm done, and I pay my promise with you. Okay? So
Let me stop this.